Oftentimes in our self-improvement journey, we tend to face stagnant points in our life. When we're focused on being consistent, when there's nothing new happening in our lives, when we're just going through the same routine over and over and over again, every single day for weeks, months, maybe even years. One thing we must understand is that this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, if your life is stagnant in a sense where you're lazy all the time and, all the bad stuff, okay, maybe that needs some work. But if you're in a stagnant period right now where you're focused on improving, but things just feel stagnant, that breakthrough just isn't happening, this is the solution to that. And it's learning to walk the pace of grace. This is something that I've been learning for actually pretty recently. Mike Todd explains it very well. And to break it down, what the pace of grace is learning to walk with God and to trust in His timing rather than yours. You see, oftentimes we try to force our breakthroughs, or we try to do more of anything we can, or we try to do something new all the time. And that was me as a spontaneous person, as a pretty creative person. I always thought that I had to do something new with my life all the time, every other week. And that just isn't the case. Sometimes you just need to be consistent. Sometimes you just need to learn to walk with God towards the direction of His purpose that He has for you. Now, even though in the material world, the physical world that we're looking at right now, when we see that there's no results, when we see that there's nothing happening, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's actually nothing happening behind the scenes, because God is always working behind the scenes. It's going to take time for breakthroughs to happen. That's why it's important to be fully immersed in the present so that you can notice signs of, okay, God is trying to work this with me right now. There might be little things about yourself that you may not notice because you're so focused in the future. You're so focused on that breakthrough, or when is the next level happening, or when's the next big thing happening. But whole time, there's a certain part of your character or your attitude, or maybe you're just not putting God first, that God isn't ready to move you to the next level yet. That's why you got to be immersed in the present and to have trust in God, because faith is believing in what you can't see. And so being able to just have that trust in God, even though it may get repetitive, even though things may not happen every day, something new may not happen every day, there's always something you can take away from each and every day. That's what God wants you to realize. And that's learning to walk the pace of grace. Trust God's timing and not yours.